And we are following breaking news here at HQ. The Kansas City Chiefs making another big upgrade to their offensive line, landing Pro Bowl offensive tackle Orlando Brown from the Ravens. Now, this is from the Super Bowl, and as you can see, Patrick Mahomes needed a lot of protection. He did not have. That offensive line is something the Chiefs have been working to upgrade, made a big upgrade with this. Brown also made it very clear he wanted out of Baltimore if he couldn't play left tackle, so now he'll have the chance to do that in Kansas City. Taking a look at the details of the trade, there were a lot of picks involved in this one. So the Chiefs, they get Orlando Brown. They also get a second-round pick in this year's draft. That is number 58, also a 2022 sixth-rounder. The Ravens, in return, they get number 130 all, the Chiefs' first-round pick for this draft. In less than a week now, a third-rounder and a fourth-rounder, also a 2022 fifth-round pick. Let's welcome in senior NFL writer Pete Prisco to talk about this trade going down. Orlando Brown to the Chiefs from the Ravens. As I mentioned, a lot of picks involved. It seems this could be a win-win for both sides. What do you say, Pete?
Yeah, I think it is a win-win for both sides. I think when you look at it from a Chiefs standpoint, they're going to have potentially five new starters on the offensive line this year. And you mentioned the Super Bowl earlier. If you watch that game, they were dominated up front. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have to protect him. They have to run the ball better. So by getting Orlando Brown, now you plug him in at left tackle, a position he wants to play. They already signed Joe Thuney and Kyle Long, could be the two new guards, and Austin Blythe will be the new center. And then Lucas Yang, who they drafted and opted out last year, could be the right tackle. So all across the board, the offensive line could have new faces. And if they are all across the board new faces, I think Patrick Mahomes will have a big smile on his, because that offensive line was awful. And from the Ravens standpoint, I think it's good because Eric DeCosta, the general manager, kind of comes from the Ozzie Newsome school of drafting, which is the more picks you have, the better it is. And he adds a couple of picks. They didn't want to pay Orlando Brown big-time left tackle money, and I think this move makes sense. They can move up with those two picks if they choose to do so, or they can stay there and take a wide receiver, which they badly need, and also get some help on defense. So I like the move from both sides. The one concern is the contract, because now Orlando Brown now has a ton of leverage. And remember, Laramie Tunsil got paid a boatload because the Texans traded for him, and he was the one who had the control. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But from a football standpoint, it makes a lot of sense.
Looking ahead to this upcoming season with the Chiefs, they were already the favorite at plus 500 to win the Super Bowl. This was the glaring thing they needed to fix. Have they done enough to this offensive line? And are they the best team heading into this next season?
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt they're the best team. And, you know, as long as Patrick Mahomes is slinging it around, they're always going to be in the conversation. But adding these guys up front definitely changes the dynamic of the offense. And we saw it in the Super Bowl. He didn't have the time to stand there and make the throws. They didn't adjust very well as a staff either. They continued to run their long routes, their deep throws, and he didn't have time to make them. By getting these guys on the offensive line, now you can protect him. You can run the ball a lot better. And I think that's something they want to do more of as well. So, yeah, they're the favorite. Not only in the AFC, I think they're the favorite in the league, and they should be.
Looking at the draft, so the Ravens, they now have 27 in 31. If you're the Ravens, where are you going with those two picks now?
Well, I think with this two picks, you get a chance now to get a wide receiver. It's a deep receiver class, so they could still wait and add some of those guys later on. But I do think at some point they need to get one. Edge rusher, remember, Matt Judon and Yannick Ngakoue are no longer there. They need to get some guys who can rush off the edge. They're going to be in the position to do that now. I mean, if the way the draft plays out and the way I think it'll play out, a lot of the edge rushers are going to get knocked down. Traditionally, those guys go in the top 10 to 15, particularly if they're good players. That's not going to be the case this year. I think you're going to see a run on those guys in the late teens, into the 20s. So they're going to get an opportunity to get an edge rusher and maybe also get a wide receiver in the first round.
Well, happy birthday to you, Field. And on your birthday, the Ravens and Chiefs completed a very significant deal that impacts Thursday night and the future of both franchises. The Baltimore Ravens trade Orlando Brown to Kansas City along with a second-round pick this year and a sixth-round pick next year, and you see what the Ravens get back. 4 picks in return for Orlando Brown, which now means that the Baltimore Ravens will be picking twice on Thursday night, number 27 and number 31. They do have an added hole now along the offensive line, but as ESPN Baltimore reporter Jamison Hensley pointed out, they are likely to sign Alejandro Villanueva, the free agent offensive tackle formerly of the division rival Pittsburgh Steelers, some point after the draft when the free agents no longer count against the compensatory draft pick formula. And so the Ravens come away with the extra picks. They will have a hole to address here. Kansas City shores up its offensive line. You remember during the offseason, cutting Mitchell Schwartz, cutting Eric Fisher. Moving on, they now have somebody to help protect Patrick Mahomes' blind side in Orlando Brown. The Ravens get the picks, and these two sides have been going back and forth for a couple of days before they finally settled in on the formula that they agreed upon late this afternoon, Field.
Someone who's having one of the best seasons for the Ravens this year is Orlando Brown Jr. He obviously started the season as the Ravens' right tackle. But then Ronnie Stanley went down with the season-ending injury, and the Ravens moved Orlando from right tackle back to left tackle, which is somewhere he's played his entire life. And when that happened, Orlando told everybody, look, I've been a left tackle my whole life. So in the NFL, I've just viewed myself as a left tackle who's playing right tackle. And that's kind of what you'd expect somebody to say in that situation. But Orlando's proven it. He's gone back to that left side and played incredibly well. And this offensive line is coming together. And Orlando is a huge reason for that. And he's being recognized for that great play. And he was just named to his 2nd straight Pro Bowl earlier this week.
It means a lot, just after everything that happened at the Combine and, man, my film that I had in college was all at left tackle. To be able to do it here on a professional level at a high level and, for people to respect me and vote me into the Pro Bowl, man, it's an honor. And, like I said, I haven't even come close to being the type of player that I'm capable of being. I'll get there at some point in my career and, but the transition from right to left without the practice is hard. But like I said, man, I've always felt like I'm a left tackle in this league, and I'm just thankful that I'm able to do it.
I'm very proud and very impressed. He's done a great job, and obviously he shows his versatility as a player. He's played a lot of left tackle in his life, and now he plays both sides at a very high level. So yeah, just really happy with him. He's a great guy. He works really hard. He wants to be good. And he's playing at a high level, so kudos to him. He's done really well with it.
Now, the good news here is that Orlando's playing great, and he's a big reason why this offense has come on strong in recent weeks. The only bad news is that the price to keep Orlando is probably going up. He's in his 3rd NFL season, which means that he could be eligible to sign a long-term deal after this season, or he could be a free agent after next year. Either way, when you prove that you can play right tackle and left tackle, it's going to be expensive to keep you, and that is exactly what Orlando has done. So congratulations to him on playing so well, and he's a big part of the success that the Ravens are having on offense right now.